Type question mark? Oh, see, I didn't even get the case, man. I got the digital.
Side note, well, you missed out on the best bit then. When was the last time you saw an understated logo like that on the disc? When was the last time you saw that where they didn't just like pop a logo on the disc?
You mean do some like some art? Usually it's like art, a
Like
little bit of art in the logo.
that's like very understated, right?
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay. What do I got? But yeah, I looked at my other discs and all of them had like a logo or art on there. Interesting. So we should
So
caveat this by saying we only played one game.
we only played one game. Now that to be fair, we played the alpha
Yeah, we played
and
alpha
the big
and
alpha
beta.
and
Yeah,
beta.
okay. And the pre-release beta. Yeah.
So yeah, we only got one game in of the final game so far. We played it right before the show. Um, it's hard to tell if there's more polish or anything like that. The very first game we got in, the very first game, our first experience in the final game is exactly what we talked about in an alpha, big alpha, and the beta with this game. And we said that matchmaking is going to be a big challenge for Evolve. Sure enough, the very first game, again, all of us, we're all playing. One, I played a class I had never played before. I had not played the medic. I had no idea what I was doing. I explicitly stated beforehand. I was like, guys, we were talking to Sean. Sean's like, well, what class do you want to play, KL? I was like, anything but the medic. And Colin had already chosen the trapper. So he's like, all right, so you're either going to be support or the assault. We load into the game. I get the medic. And so I had no idea what I was doing. When I was walking around to we saw the monster. He's flying up in the air. I was like, oh, I see him. I see him. I shot my sniper, which I thought was the Trank, which appeared the same when I was watching the brief tutorial. I was like, why isn't he tranked? You guys see him? No. Oh. And then Collins was telling me beforehand, he's like, the medic has a sniper. And I'm like, no, he has a trank. He's like, no, he has a sniper. I'm like, no, he has a trank, or she has a trank. And so I was wrong. Ultimately, I was wrong. I was wrong. Whatever. So anyway, we play this game. There's three of us. There's a fourth guy who ends up being the assault.
That's the important note. We stacked the odds in our favor as much as we possibly could by going in with 3 out of 4 people for our hunter team.
And we nearly won. We won. We couldn't really track well. Again, I think it was just first time playing. The person that was playing as a wraith, which meant that they obviously had some time under their belt with the wraith. It was already unlocked. So dude's zipping around the map. And I told Colin, like, I don't think we're gonna be able to track her very well. At least not in our current state, right? So he gets to level 3, and I'm like, I think we could take it out at the power relay, because that's once it gets to level 3, it forces an objective so that you obviously don't draw out the game. So Colin's like, yeah, maybe, probably. And literally, as soon as I said that, the dude on our team disconnect. Now, before we even get to the disconnect, prior to this dude is about to... No, he actually did die. He died to one of the animals, the NPC animals that attack you on the map.
We died through the course of getting hit by 3 of them because we had helped him twice. Yeah.
So as soon as we spawn in, this dude starts shooting at one. It comes and attacks him, and we have to save him. All right. We're like, oh, okay. So he's like looking around. He's like looking up and down, left and right. I'm like, Colin, I don't think this dude is very good, right? And we're all new, but I'm like, I don't think this dude is very good. All right. So again, fast forward. This dude dies twice. He died twice or just once?
I think just once.
Okay, so he dies once. He got attacked 3 times. And then we get to the boss, to final showdown with the other player. We nearly win. I think he had maybe 3 bars left, but we basically played it without an assault. Like, I hopped in after he left which was, I guess, a little bit into when it, but we still had no medic at that point, right? So we had no one healing. The NPC was healing, and actually wasn't even healing. He kept
NBC died right
tracking.
away.
He was, yeah, die right away. It kept sticking tranks into the monster. So again, our play experience ruined by pretty much one player, one player, one
Which is
player.
100% of players we've played with so far have ruined the match.
So, it's really hard to comment on anything else other than the issue that that we talked about from the get-go, saying that the Evolve's biggest challenge is going to be matchmaking, hands down, bar none. I read a comment on YouTube that said something along the lines of, "Hey, I'm playing on PS4. I think the game is awesome. Unfortunately, matchmaking is really bad. No one is talking." Colin, did we not mention that? He says on
Yep.
PS4. No one is talking. People aren't working together. You need to party out. Like, if you're not playing in the party, this game is going to be rough. It's just going to be rough, and I don't know if it's going to be enjoyable long term if people aren't communicating. Like, and I don't look. Nobody knows how to fix it. You can't force it, right? Like, you can turn on the mic, people take them out. People don't want to talk to you anymore. They just want to play their games in silent and be bad. Generally speaking. Am I wrong? Because if you want to talk, you'd be trying to improve. You want to win. Now, there's a subset of people that definitely want to do that, but the dude that we were playing against.
But I mean, like, if you're playing all the time and no one's ever talking, then why are you going to have your mic in, right?
Right.
Like,
People are going to be in parties, which we were.
Yep.
But it didn't matter. The dude had no mic. You saw nothing light up. There was nothing going on that indicated he was talking. Nothing. Then he died. Then we revived him. We're clearly working with this man. We revived him. Came back and saved him. Got up. Then he left.
That's it, man. That's going to be the biggest issue. Which is why we're going to be rolling with 4. all the time. Because if you don't play with 4, then it's really like, why play? It's one of those games that's going to be really difficult. And really, one person quitting can ruin the match. Because it's like the AI is never going to be able to replace a player in a game like this.
It's going to be rough.
It's also just like, it's also not like COD where someone can be playing and like always have something to do. Like, if you're like just a casual player, like, you're just kind of like wandering around the entire time because you aren't working with your team, right? So you're just kind of like wandering around. All right, I don't see him, guys. I'm sorry, and then dying. So it has a lot of issues going for it for like the pub match experience.
It's just gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. In a game like this, it's gonna be so rough to play without a party.
Yeah, Pod. Even I think party chat. It's killed all communication. Early Xbox days, people talked, and then you had people whining. There's too many like kids on the mics. It's like, all right, we'll give you guys your own chat room. So now there's no one. Don't even get to hear kids anymore. So, anyways, we will be playing with Team of 4 for the most part as a result, because we don't want to mess with that matchmaking probably. Which goes into the other interesting announcement from today, which is that there's going to be a tournament for Evolve. And who would have thought? I've already told like 4 people, and they've all been like, how is that going to even work? Like, what is that? How do you even do that? So it's a 4v4 tournament. Here's the link in chat. The Chappie Challenge. Because apparently Evolve teamed up with the movie Chappie as a promotional thing. So it's ESL is running the tournament. It's going to be all online, and then for the finals, they'll do the finals, which will have like a Chappie tie-in, I guess, in LA. And it'll be 4v4. And I think it's like, the way it works, I believe, is that you nominate one of your players to be the monster. So, like, your monster will play against their hunters, and then you'll swap sides. So your hunters will play against their monster player. And then if it goes to a game 3, they do a coin flip to see who's the hunters and who's the monster, which is an awful way of deciding that because it's the most single biggest thing that you could possibly have for the match. So it could literally end up being a coin flip determines the game, The losing team in the coin toss picks the map, though, so there is that advantage at least. And yeah, so 15 grand for first, 5 grand for second. And I believe we're playing in this. Sounds like I got people on board.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna give it a shot.
Give it a shot. It's a one-day tournament,
how much practice
so it's
we're
like
actually gonna get,
pretty minimal involvement, really.
but we're gonna give it a shot.
But it's pretty cool. Like I said, I didn't expect like a competitive scene to be around the game at all, and this could probably be the only time that there is one. But we'll see how it plays.
I'm most interested in seeing the evolution of high level play. What ends up becoming strategies for a lot of players. Again, we played the Wraith first. That was my first time playing against the Wraith. I don't know how good the player was or wasn't. He was at level 3, and I felt like he literally had 3 bars left, and he was killing us. We were reviving, between the 3 of us, reviving without our 4th, which is basically our medic, who was supposed to keep us alive, right? So I mean, we could have killed him. It seems like pretty easily, and I don't know how good that player was or not, but it seemed like teamwork in that situation probably would have played in our favor, and that's probably a combination of us playing together for so long and generally having an idea of how to play shooters. But I am very, very interested to see how some extremely high level players play this game, particularly on the monster side. I know you told us about some very high level exciting matches that you ended up watching for the, was it the beta or the big alpha? I think it was the beta.
Beta, I think. Yeah, the alpha you couldn't stream.
Yep. So
yeah, so like when the game is played by like 4 guys that know what they're doing versus a monster knows what they're doing, I think the game is actually really good, which is why I'm kind of excited to play in the tournament, in the sense that like it'll be the best matches we'll get on Evolve probably ever, just because you can't really ensure that scenario in online play. So it'll be interesting to see, for sure.
I am also kind of like I don't know. I'm kind of drawn to the idea of playing in something different, right? Like this is really different. So I just want to see how it plays out. Asymmetric PvP multiplayer experience. Oh, we're getting some drop frames.
Uh-oh. It's also not really like a like your shot doesn't really matter as much, or
Right.
probably at all, really, once we get to a certain point. And it's strictly like strategy and positioning, right?
Yep.
Which will be very different from just about every other game out there, really.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays. I personally, this is my current suspicion, is that it's going to hit a point where the hunters win every single game, and like at high level, I think the matches will be determined by coin flip. Like whoever wins that coin flip. That's my initial hypothesis.
I can see that.
I feel like it's going to go one way or the other. It's either like monsters are always going to win or hunters are always going to win. I don't think you're going to see like a good mix. It's such a really difficult game to balance. I highly doubt they have like a nice competitive office scene. You know what I mean? Like in order to get that kind of games all the time.
Do you feel like long term they're going to try to tweak and balance around that? Because I feel like this could be such a one that's like so tricky. Like if you nudge something too far, then you've all of a sudden broken things.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different things they could tune, right? Between the environments and everything. The environments and like all the different perks and like even AI to like some of the enemies and stuff. One cool thing is it sounds like Turtle Rock actually submitted rules for the tournament. They said custom game settings with mastery bonuses, character perks. So like you're gonna be playing with the base class without any perks or unlocks. Mastery bonus, no unlocks. And the elite wildlife, which I guess are like random, will be turned off just so that there isn't like a case where your monster has elite wildlife on the map and the other team's doesn't. So all of those are actually settings in the custom games, which again surprises me because that's stuff which like you only really put in there if you're trying to get a competitive scene going. Like those type of settings won't be used by like people just having fun in custom games.
Yeah.
So like that's strictly like competitive focused settings. And those were submitted by Turtle Rock, and it says this was tested with Turtle Rock Studios and eliminates any mismatch in perks, bonuses, and the random event of an elite wildlife swinging the balance. So they definitely given some consideration. There's different tuning in there to kind of give an even playing field. Although, if you've purchased the DLC, then you got an extra set of hunters, right?
Yes.
And you might have monsters unlocked faster, or
Perhaps.
not, or you might own monster that their team doesn't have.
Perhaps. I don't know. Gameplay wise, everything felt pretty similar. I think there was a couple things different. Obviously, the walkthrough and the tutorial, Colin didn't realize you could exit it, so he suffered through a tutorial. I don't know.
Well, it's because they did an unskippable video before the tutorial that you can skip.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
I could not skip the video. I definitely tried to skip the video on the monster because I knew how to play the monster rather well, Goliath. And then they went into this tutorial, and I was like, all right, let me just remember some of the... Okay, I got the controls. All right, let me exit this. And I hit start and saw exit tutorial, and Colin apparently didn't hit the start button. So I skipped all that nonsense, and then I heard Colin like, oh, unskippable tutorial. I was like, what? All you gotta do is hit start and exit tutorial. He's like, oh.
It's all right. I got that bronze badge. We're good.
My badge, by the way, looks like Godzilla.
They all look like Godzilla. Goliath
No,
looks
they
like
don't.
Godzilla.
No, they don't. You have to color it a certain way for it to look like Godzilla.
There's like barely any options for customizing that.
You just change the color. You could do green or you could do red. I did red. So that's pretty much it on Evolve. I think we'll talk about it some more next week after we get some solid playthrough. I definitely wanted to hit the matchmaking issue. Gameplay control seems solid. It looks visually pleasing. Tense can probably talk to the PC version a little bit since he got the PC version first before consulting us what one he was going to buy. So unfortunately, Tense is going to have both. I think.
If he gets both, I don't know. He's
who are we gonna get as our fourth?
Yeah, it sounds like Mitch might not be able to play because he has to work. So it'd be like me, you, Wraith, and +1. We need to recruit a top level monster, someone that can put in time as monster. Because we're probably not going to be able to grind out monster and hunters.
That is true.
That's going to be the recruiting call.
Recruiting call. Anybody that wants to play with us. Xbox One, elite monster skills, and you want to play in this tournament, let us know.
Got a medic, too.
You got to be a medic, too.
Got to play on that medic. Medic and monster.
So generally speaking, let me just say this as well. I'm actually excited to play this game. It's a different, it's a change of pace. Different in that, we've been playing pretty much the same thing. We hopped off of Titanfall, and then I personally went right into Destiny. I had some Heroes of the Storm mixed in, but I don't really count my PC play as my console play because console for me has mostly just been shooters. Right, and then I'm playing a lot of other games on the side, but when you're talking about hours that I'm actually spending playing games, most of it has been consumed by Destiny. It just had. That's the only game that's really been holding my attention where I feel like, all right, this is fun enough for me to play. Let me shoot some people in the face. This feels good. Other than that, there just really hasn't been that much out other than Titanfall, and I could hop on Titanfall, but nobody's playing. Like, I'd be playing against just a handful of people at this point.
You tear them apart too. So they still suck.
Probably. There's some people that are probably pretty good.
Most of them still suck. Dude, I went back. I hadn't played the game in like 6 months, right? I hopped back on for the rank stuff. I went Kraber. Most difficult loadout I could possibly do. It was like my crazy jumping flying Kraber shot loadout, right? 16-2, first game. Didn't touch the Titans. Like, people still haven't learned. People still are walking around like it's fucking COD. They still haven't learned that you can fly. Still haven't learned that you can have wings. It's Kraber people.
Well, you heard it from Colin. I guess the community over there is still struggling.
So yeah, Titanfall's rough. But yeah, I'm excited to play something different. Like, I'm looking forward to stratting it up, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time we're going to have, but I'm going to strat it up.
In a
So
week? We have a
we,
1 week.
we will have strats. It's like a week
in
and a
a
half.
week?
Yeah, it's a week and a half. But I mean, it's one of those things, like, you can just draw it out on paper. It's like, all right, off the bat, we're fanning out like this. We're collapsing this way. And if it doesn't happen, then we're collapsing back this way. Like, you can strat it out. We'll have it, man. We'll have it. And then all we have to do is just hit the giant-ass fucking monster with our guns.
I had some people, you know what, nerd, I refuge. I had some people actually, mentioning to me Dying Light. I'm just not interested in the genre, man. Just not interested in the genre. The game looks good. It really does. It looks good. I watched Tens play. I watched, what's that watch play? I watched, not Gold Glove. Who the heck did it, was it, Triple Rick? I think Triple Rick might have been playing. I can't remember who it was. I watched someone else play. I watched Tens play a whole lot. And I am just not a fan of that genre. I can't get into H1Z1. I can't get into DayZ. I can't get into Dying Light.
So I don't even lump it
like
with those, though.
games.
I don't lump it with those at all.
It's not.
To me, it's like Assassin's
It's kind of like
Creed.
State of Decay.
It's like Assassin's Creed to me.
Really?
Like, it's just
I don't know.
another
What is
open
that?
world game where you kind of climb around all over the place and hit things.
I don't know. To me, I don't know. There's just something about it. Some people were comparing it to Dead Island, which I don't even know if I played that game.
It's closer to Dead Island just because it's same devs and everything.
What about Bloodborne? I think Colin is into Bloodborne, but
Yeah.
not me.
Speaking of H1Z1, by the way, I'm
Well, you're here, made it this far, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. I think all of my brethren would appreciate it. Leave a like. Help spread the word. Subscribe if you've not already. And we have a lovely video right there. Check that on out.